The little town of Sligo, tucked away in northeastern Ireland, seems the most unlikely place to find a new music festival. It's the county town of a region rich in mystical Celtic associations. Round every corner you'll find a view immortalised in a poem by Yeats. There are megalithic monuments by the dozen, and the main art gallery in the town of Sligo itself is full of paintings by Jack Yeats, brother of the poet. But the Sligo New Music Festival, which takes place each April, is anything but inward-looking. It may be small in scale, offering just a handful of concerts over a weekend, but it has a large vision. It's directed by Irish composer Ian Wilson, who each year builds a programme round the work of a single composer. You might remember that last year it was Rebecca Saunders, and as Radio 3 is one of the festival's sponsors, we heard all the concerts in a previous edition of Here and Now. This year it's Andrew Toovey, another British composer in his early 40s. But there the similarities end. Toovey has none of Saunders's cool, analytic interests in sounds and their sensuous properties. He's a latter-day romantic, fascinated by folk music. In fact, you might guess from hearing the rhapsodic, tendril-like curves of his melodies that he has a bit of Celtic blood himself. Ian Wilson explains why he felt Toovey's music deserved such attention.
He's a real individual composer, has a rather unique voice, and it's the kind of music I felt that we should be hearing more of in Ireland, and that's, as I see it, that's the function of this festival, is to present real new music to Ireland. I mean, Andrew's music is, I'm not sure if it's ever been heard here really. I find Andrew's music remarkable in its energy and vitality. I mean, the music that we're hearing, the earliest pieces are from 1987, and he manages to sustain his character over, most of the last 20 years remarkably evenly, which is not to say all the pieces are the same by any means, because one of the things I do like about his music is that there's a very wide stylistic variety in it, yet it's all somehow him. It's the way Stravinsky managed to put different things through the Stravinsky mill and still come out Stravinsky. Andrew manages to absorb so many influences and draw on so many different things, from painting and sculpture to collections of ethnic recordings, and it comes out Toovey all the time, and I really admire that in him.
Ian Wilson. As well as inviting Andrew Toovey, he invited the chamber group IXION, which Toovey co-founded some 18 years ago. And it's that group we'll be hearing over the next 2 hours. Ian Wilson asked Andrew Toovey to programme the main Saturday concert himself, and before the concert the composer explained the thinking behind it.
I wanted some Clementi because we've done a little bit of Aldo Clementi's music, and I was kind of looking around thinking what would actually fit the ensemble, and I found a piece called Scherzo, which was given to me by Clementi at Huddersfield about, 20 years ago or something, and I'd heard it on a CD, but I'd never heard it live, so I thought, right, we'll try that one. So it came down a little bit to just finding things that would fit with the ensemble and that would somehow balance my music. I've been dredging up all kinds of old things. Actually, I decided to look at pieces that I'd written, actually in some cases about 16, 17 years ago, and to rethink those. I mean, they've been played quite a lot, so it's not that I've not heard them since the time I've written them, but I just wanted to collect them together. And interestingly enough, for me anyway, there was a year 1988, and I just had a good year. I was about to start teaching at a secondary school where I taught actually for 10 years, and I think I was determined to do lots of composing and not just to become a teacher. Because I know a lot of people anyway who just seem to become teachers or lecturers, and then their composition kind of drifts away somewhere, and becomes a secondary thing. So I was determined actually to keep that balance, and I kind of slightly overdid it, I think, really. Because I did write, I think, about 6, maybe 7 pieces in that year, which I still consider are quite strong pieces. Oddly enough, things that were in those pieces are still very much in the pieces I write now, and it's quite shocking to think back and think, have I just gone nowhere? Am I still somehow trying to capture that same kind of idea or connection with folk music or connection with, a kind of dramatic moment? Am I still in that area? I mean, but it's a bit like a painter. If you think of someone like Francis Bacon, they basically did a very similar type of painting over the course of their whole lives, that type of artist. And I think maybe composers are the same.